Well, I was on the Blue Highways trip in 1978. I would come into some small places, some village, a small town, and get to know a couple of people and begin to hear a little bit about the history of what was going on there. And I would begin to become attached and get interested in this place. And I'd want to stay and fill out these stories. I wanted to get an encyclopedic knowledge of a particular place in so many instances. But the point of Blue Highways is a lot of places in a limited time. 13,000 miles in 3 months. But I kept wanting to stop and go deep instead of go horizontal across the country. I wanted to go vertical. Part of the concept behind the deep map that I talk about in PrairyErth. And when I came back and after Blue Highways came out 4 years later, I thought this is a chance to go into some place and stay and not become a resident, not to become part of the community, but to be attached to it in some way. So I'm still an outsider, and I'll be treated like an outsider, but to be there long enough to pursue stories. And I had been interested in Chase County and the tallgrass prairie for a number of years, and it just struck me, this place here, this may be the spot to do it. And walking around kind of, as you might say, casing the joint, and seeing these marvelous old stone bridges, I fell in love with the stonework first, and then I realized there's some stories here that need to be told. And I really like the idea that this is in Kansas, and the American perception of Kansas, to my mind, and this is coming from a Missourian, the perception of Kansas across the country is, well, that's a place with no trees, and it's flat, and it's boring. If you want to talk about a boring place, you start talking about Kansas. And I thought, this is anything but boring. It's a fascinating place. If I can show to American readers that this little old place in east central Kansas is interesting, and it's deep in its history, deep in its past, its history, both human and natural history. If I can show that, then they're going to realize, so was my hope, they're going to realize that wherever they live, that place too is deep in history and interesting. And to get to my point here, I thought that this could be a good way to help Americans connect with the land, or in so many instances, reconnect with the land, which I think is not only the source of our strength, that's perhaps a cliche to say that, true, but it's what we're stepping away from, and I think that's one of the reasons that we have many of the problems we have today. We're just not linked with ultimate things anymore. And this place here, this land, this is, as far as human beings go, as far as I can see, this is an ultimate kind of basis for an existence, for moral values, ethical values.